Hi, it's the film game. Welcome.
True story. 1989, London, summertime. What have we here? A blue props van, picking up items to be used on films or TV ads. Rattles down the motorway, shimmering in the heat, like it's being roasted on a giant invisible grill. That's Jay. And that van, well, it's been threatening to retire since 1987. Now, Jay didn't drive this van because it was glamorous. He drove it because it kept him close to the world he loved. Studios, sets, art directors, creative folk, celebrities who lived in colour and imagination. Every delivery meant a chance to stand beside the props master, grips and camera crew, watching, learning, absorbing little secrets about how films and commercials were made. And in his breaks, he'd sketch characters, strange, funny, heartfelt little creatures, dreaming that one day he'd make animated shorts of his own. He loved the driving too, being out and about, studio to location, warehouse to set, every day a new place, every day a new story. But today, the story had other plans. The van shudders, jerks, groans. Jay pats the dashboard. Come on mate, not now. The van does not listen. It rolls to a stop on the shoulder of the flyover, steam drifting up like it's trying to escape the situation. Oh dear. No water, no shade, no foam, just Jay and a canal, water below. He rummaged in the back of the van and found rope, a lot of rope, a yellow plastic bucket, and absolutely only one plan. And so begins the rope saga. Jay wrestled rope that behaved like a living creature. It tangled, it knotted, it slapped him in the face. He tied it untied itself. He tied it again. Finally, he had a rope long enough to reach the canal. He tied the bucket on, looked up at the sky, as if asking the universe for just one tiny favour, and threw it. Splosh. Perfect landing. The bucket filled with cold water. Victory. Almost. Jay hauled. As the yellow bucket was going up, the water trickled out the bottom. A crack. A long mocking crack in the bottom of the bucket. By the time it reached Jay's hands, it was empty. Bone dry, just like his patience. But Jay wasn't done. He took off his t-shirt and put it in the bucket, threw it over the edge, hauled it up dripping, and wrung canal water into the radiator. Again and again, losing count of how many times he had to haul it up, until finally the van coughed, sputtered, and started. Jay cheered. The van honked proudly, and that should have been the end of it, but Jay's day wasn't done. He drove to pick up props and costumes, rails full of clothes, wigs, hats, the whole circus. Normally he tied everything down. Normally. But today, the rope was still in a giant, wet, tangled mountain from the flyover experience. Jay shrugged. It'll be fine. It was not fine. Once loaded up with props, the moment he pulled away onto the main road, the rails slid, clattered, and performed a full wardrobe avalanche behind him. The blue van's weight shifted, making the journey very uncomfortable. And then, the gear stick came off. He had to screw it back in. Again. Jay stared at it like it had personally betrayed him. Bent over like the hunchback of Notre Dame, he continued driving, while the entire costume department rattled behind him like a haunted charity shop. When he finally reached the workplace, his boss was already waiting behind the van, arms folded, foot tapping. Jay climbed out, trying to look casual. Jay asked, "What are all these props for?" His boss said, "It's for a movie called The Hurricane. They're shooting tomorrow morning." Jay nodded, grabbed the shutter handle, slid it up and said, "There you go, all ready for the storm." Inside was a twisted, impossible, physics-defying explosion of rails, wigs, hats, boxes split open, wet rope, and pure, unfiltered chaos. His boss stared. Jay stared back. Then, a tiny metallic thing. Both men turned. The van's back wheels buckled inward like a tired old donkey giving up on life. The whole thing slumped sideways, groaned, and collapsed into a dramatic cloud of steam and dust. Jay sighed. The boss sighed. Even the cloud of smoke seemed to sigh. The end.